Ray, I said there's some outdoor activities, and one of those might be the outdoor activity. And some of you may not be from around here or don't know me very well. Outdoor recreation, sightseeing, aromatherapy, hiking, relaxing. Aromatherapy isn't going out in the woods and getting some wacky weed, okay? Okay. How many know what freedom seeds are? Oh, the aroma of freedom seeds as they come forth. You know, I was out. I just got a really wonderful 308 from this guy, and oh, it's so great. And out shooting it, and it's just like the wind was perfect, and the aroma of the freedom seeds were wonderful that day. And that was just a few days ago. So anyway, see? So uh, this gentleman is invested in serving people. He's investing in the individual and making sure the individual has what he needs or she needs in regards to protecting their families. I trust this guy. And so we were just chatting a little bit before about some of the things that I'm doing to help prepare my family for what I believe is soon to come, especially in Oregon. I think we're leaders in a lot of things, but oftentimes it's the worst. Yeah. We're number one in having the worst state to die in. Yay. And that's one of a multitude of number one things. So this gentleman knows, he lives it, he preaches it, he sells it, and I sure do appreciate him. So let's get up for Ray Gunter, Emerald Valley Armory.
Good morning. I see some familiar faces out here today. I see a lot of new faces out here today, and that's encouraging. So, a little bit about myself. My name is Ray Gunter, for those of you that don't know me. Good introduction from Bill there, so you guys got a little bit on me there. I've been doing firearms use, training firearms use and safety since 1988. I was a firearms instructor in the Marine Corps, rifle, pistol. Later on, started doing machine gun training and stuff like that for our troops. After my first deployment, came back to the States, and we had a new program. We were doing Warsaw Pact weapons instruction, so we were teaching Marines about foreign weapons. So that was a lot of fun. Did 6 years active duty, deployed to several places around the world: Panama, Liberia, Somalia, Saudi Arabia. I was in the first Gulf War. Got a lot of experience firearms related stuff. When I got out of the service, I wasn't happy about being out of the service. I blew out my knee and ankle. So mid 90s, they weren't retaining anybody. I was forced out on a medical. Not happy as a civilian. Went through a whole bunch of jobs really fast, struggled with my faith quite a bit. Tried some different churches, things like that. Found out that the church isn't all it's cracked up to be. The church isn't a building. It isn't philosophy. It's actually a life. So, and it's people. Um, Bill brought me back to that when we first met. He can tell you the story about it sometime. I was pretty skeptical about another
Some
preacher.
Of these guys have heard the story and they love it.
So, anyway, been doing this for a long time. A friend of mine suggested to me when I was struggling with my civilian life, why don't you teach? I go, you want me to teach civilians? I mean, I teach warriors. What am I going to teach a civilian? But he kept encouraging me until I went out and I got certified, and I started doing armed security training for, I got DPSSC certified for the state of Oregon for armed and unarmed. I did that for a while. Enjoyed it. The teaching part actually made me feel like I was, a little bit back in the service a little bit. But it got old really fast. And the reason it got old really fast is if you work with security all the time, they're not really top tier guys out there. Most of the security guys are guys that can't be police officers. They want to be, but they're just not going to make it. They don't have the drive, they don't have the education, and they don't go for it. So I was starting to burn out on that. And my friend steps up again. He's like, "Hey, you know, Oregon's a concealed carry state. You got to give people classes for that." I go, "Well, I don't know about that. That's, now I'll be working with people who have absolutely no experience." He kept bugging me, kept bugging me, kept bugging me. I decided, okay, I'll give it a try and see what happens. So I started doing the Oregon concealed carry classes, and it became one of my favorite classes to teach. The neat thing about people who come into it not knowing anything, don't have any bad habits. So if you can teach somebody something that's brand new to them. They're interested in it, and it was just so much easier than fighting egos of people who think they know what they're talking about. So it really became my favorite, and I did that for 24 years. Just recently stopped teaching for other reasons, but I enjoyed it. I like working with people. Firearms have always been a huge interest of mine. Grew up with them, so it's just kind of a natural fit for me. Anybody have questions about my background before we get started? Before we go into this a little bit. Okay, Kirk's going to be a hard act to follow. That guy, he's driven.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's a good speaker. I've never considered myself to be a good speaker, but I muddle through it. So I am big on participation, so I'm going to be asking you guys questions as we go along too. Okay. How many of you own firearms? Okay. How many of you consider yourself proficient? Oh, come on. I know more of you thinking, I'm not going to raise my hand because this guy's going to call me out.
Everything but pistols.
Target. Shooting's a perishable skill. That's one of those things that we've got to get out there and we've got to train. You need to do it on a regular basis. You need to get with other people, train with them, and have fun with it, but actually be serious about it. Always be safe, of course, but you need to be serious about your training. Same as you are about our spiritual awareness and our praying and our staying on top of things like that and keeping in focus, because it's so easy to get distracted away from things that we need to do.
That's right.
Okay. Especially as the head of the family. We've got tons of stuff that we're doing all the time. Okay. You've got to make time for it. Once a month minimum. I would recommend a couple times a month is doing some kind of firearms training. And that doesn't mean that you have to go out and shoot every time. Sometimes just gun handling. Do some drills in your room. Work on presentation from your holster. How many of you conceal carry? Have a permit to carry? Okay. How many of you actually work on your draw? Okay. So the hands get fewer each question I ask. It's kind of important. I mean, we can go to the range and we can stand there and shoot bullseye targets all day long and be a really good shot and not be able to defend yourself with a firearm. Okay. Marksmanship is a huge part of it, yes. But gun handling, in my opinion, is just as important. And in some ways, it's more important than marksmanship. You take a mediocre shooter that's an average shooter. He does pretty good. He can hit the target, but he's got really good gun handling skills. I'll take that guy over a guy that can compete for bullseye competitions and win all the time, but doesn't know how to draw a gun from a holster. Okay. There's more to it than just marksmanship. We have to get out there and train. We have to think about different scenarios. We have to think about different shooting positions. Okay. All of that needs to be part of it. Different shooting platforms as well. Okay. How many of you rely on a handgun only? I saw a hand about to come up. Okay. Here's my thought on handguns. Okay. It's an important tool, but it's the tool you use to get back to the better tool that we should have had with us to begin with. Okay. Rifles and shotguns are king. Both are much better defense tools than a handgun. The reason handguns are popular is because they're portable. We can take it with us. It's small. We can conceal it on our person. Okay. But it is a limited tool. Okay. It's close up. It's personal. It's something that you got to be able to use quickly. Okay. And they're not the best tool for stopping large animals. Okay. How many of you hunt with a handgun? I have. I don't do it anymore, but I have. Why don't we hunt with handguns? Somebody give me a reason.
Range. Accuracy. Yeah.
What's that?
Accuracy.
Accuracy and range and
Power.
Okay. They're not that powerful. Now they have to be treated with the utmost respect, because if you can, any caliber of handgun, 22 on up, they can all take life in an instant. Okay. But they're not the best tool for the job. Okay. Now, calibers are important. What's the best caliber for defense if you're thinking handgun? Everybody's got an opinion on it. Nobody wants to say.
10 mil.
10 mil? Okay.
One you can hit with.
What's that?
One you can hit with.
Well, you can hit with.
Probably, yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
So he's kind of nailed it. The best caliber for self-defense is the caliber that you're proficient with. Okay. the one that you shoot the best. And what I always encourage is you keep training and keep going to something a little bit better, a little bit better. You get to that point where it's just too big, back up one caliber, and that's where you're at. 9mm seems to be king right now. I've been selling firearms for a lot of years too. Everything kind of goes in little niches for a while. Okay, back in the 90s, 40 was king. You know, the FBI went to 40 cal. Everybody had to go to 40 cal. All law enforcement across the nation switched to 40 cal. Okay. 40 cal is a great caliber. I use it myself. Okay. What they found is a lot of officers can't qualify with a gun that has the kind of recoil that 40s have. They have a little bit more recoil than a 9. Also, hand size is a big issue. So some of the guns are a little bit bigger. With 9 and 40, most platforms are the same, but not all. Okay. So 9mm kind of become king. You know what I think about 9mm?
Why?
Too weak. Okay. Bigger bullets are better. Call me a caveman, but they didn't go out and kill mastodons with pebbles. Okay. That's why I think rifles and shotguns are better. Okay. The handgun's a tool. You get back to the long rifle or shotgun you should have left behind in the first place. But okay, a 9mm that you're really good with, better than a 44 Magnum that you're not. Okay. 9's got a lot going for it. Capacity, with modern ammunition, you've got good bullets that expand and transfer energy better than others. And that's the biggest argument I hear from guys I get in arguments about 45 versus 9 or 40 versus 9. Well, with modern bullets, the 9mm expands as much as the 40 cal. Okay, with those same modern bullets, does that mean the 45 stayed the same? No. So calibers and things like that, that's up for you guys to decide. Bigger's better in my opinion. Okay. Tools themselves. You don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a defensive handgun. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay. There are a lot of good quality firearms out there from SIG, Smith & Wesson, Glock, Ruger, okay, that are affordable, reliable, and things that you can use effectively to defend yourself and your family. Okay. But you have to train with them. You have to get proficient with them. You have to be comfortable with them. Make them an extension of yourself. Get out there and handle those firearms regularly. Okay. Reloading drills, failure drills. Even the most reliable handgun can fail. What if you get some bad ammo in there? So we have to drill on that. We have to drill on all these variables that could happen. Okay. Think about all that stuff when you're thinking about your firearms training. Okay. How many of you train with rifles regularly? Anybody? Yeah, we got a few people. Good. Rifle's a great equalizer. Gets you a lot more distance out there. Now, self-defense wise, may not be the best choice shooting somebody at 100 yards. Okay. It's going to be kind of hard to prove justification on that. But we're not talking about just self-defense the way things are now. If things change rapidly in the near future, you may end up defending your family with a rifle, and it may be at distance. Okay. So having that tool in your shed to defend with is a good thing. Okay. What is the best up close and personal defense weapon you can have in your home? A shotgun. Now, there's big arguments over that as well. Okay. Shotguns, in my opinion, are problem solvers. There's not a whole lot a bad guy can do with a full loaded 12 gauge buckshot or 20 gauge buckshot or even a 410 buckshot in the chest. Okay. It's a problem solver. It stops things. Okay. Told you I was rusty. So
No, that's
let me
no,
get going.
You're
great.
doing great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Problems with shotguns are recoil. Okay. And everybody thinks, well, if I'm going to have a shotgun for defense, it's got to be a 12 gauge. Now, I'm that caveman, so I'm a 12 gauge guy, but I'm proficient with my 12 gauge. Okay. If you've got a family and it's your wife might be using that firearm for home defense and she's not comfortable with it, doesn't do her any good. Okay. So think about 20 gauges. Think about 410. Okay. 410. We're back to that modern loads for the 410. There's a bunch of defense loads out there for it. And 410s are extremely manageable. It's a really easy gun to teach people to use. Okay. And 20 gauge for that matter also. If you're going to go 12, you're stuck on that. Look at some of the new mini shells. They've got little 2-inch shells or 1 3/4 shells now that pack a pretty good punch without the recoil. Also increases the capacity of the shotgun for you. So shotguns are very effective tools. The big drawbacks for them are going to be recoil Capacity, most of your shotguns are only going to hold 5 to 8 rounds. Those are the most common. Yes, there's mag fed ones that'll hold more. Question?
Do those have to be chambered for that?
What's it?
The shorter rounds, do they have to be specific?
With the shorter rounds, you want to make sure your gun's going to handle those. But you take a gun like a Remington 870 that you hunt with, that'll hold 4 rounds in the tube and 1 in the chamber. With the mini rounds, that'll hold, I think, 6 in the tube or 7 and 1 in the chamber.
You actually get
So
more out of it.
it's a pretty substantial increase in capacity. So without adding a tube to your gun to lengthen it out.
And those would be for home defense, not hunting,
Yeah,
obviously.
because
Home
you're
defense.
only allowed
Yeah.
3.
Oh, for hunting, it's 2 in the tube and 1 in the pipe. So yeah, it's 3. I'm not teaching to hunt. This ain't a hunter's ed class.
Two-legged critters, guys.
Yeah. Most of my, and don't get me wrong, I'm a hunter too, but most of the stuff I teach is basically self-defense. Okay. Question in the back.
Forgive my ignorance. I have a shotgun I inherited that I think is a bird for bird hunting, and it doesn't have removable chokes.
Okay.
Can you shoot buckshot out of the end of? I mean,
Yes.
Is there a limit to what you can shoot out of?
Some of the full chokes won't like slugs very well.
It has a separate rifle barrel for shooting slugs.
Okay.
But out of, I mean, it's got a pretty long, just standard barrel. You can shoot pretty much any kind of pellet out of that.
Yeah. Buckshot will shoot fine through it. The gonna have really tight pattern though, so close up you're gonna have to aim it like a rifle. So, but one of the big illusions of shotguns is it spreads out really fast, and you can clear a hallway with one. No, the shotgun I use for home defense has a 14-inch barrel. Okay, it's short. At 10 yards, which is the average distance that I'm going to be shooting at, it patterns about like that.
Wow.
Okay, that's with a short barrel, no choke. Okay, it doesn't spread out like Hollywood and knock down 6 guys at one time. It's not going to do that for you, but it will punch a big hole right in the middle of the bad guy. So, with a full length barrel and a full choke, you're not talking, silver dollar size pattern at 30 feet. So,
You are or you're not. What'd you say?
what's that?
I'm sorry. Repeat that again. What'd you say about the choke pattern on a full choke? How big of a pattern did you say?
At about 30 feet, it's going to look like a silver dollar.
Still pretty small.
And it's pretty tight.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
and I'm talking home distances. Where you're shooting from one end of the house to the other.
Well, at that point, would it be better to put that rifle barrel on it and use slugs?
Problem with the slug is it's going to go through him and keep going.
Yeah.
So if you live in town, I don't recommend slugs.
Oh, are you kidding?
Yeah.
How far can a slug travel?
In town, number 4 buck would be my number 1 recommendation.
Number 4 buck.
Number 4 buck. And the reason I say number 4 buck for in town is it doesn't go through walls very well, where double aught buck will. So, depending on what your shotgun is, you might look into getting a shorter barrel for it. There may be a factory offering in an 18 or a 20-inch barrel. That's going to make it a lot handier for a home defense gun. Full length guns are kind of
that's kind of what I was thinking.
kind of unwieldy inside.
Like a little Mossberg or something.
Okay. Self-defense in the home, you've got more rights to self-defense in your home than any place else. Out on the street, there's a lot of things, a lot of variables that go into play as to whether you'd be justified in using force or using deadly force to defend yourself or your family. Okay. There's certain things that have to be in place. Your attacker, for instance, has to have 3 things. Okay. First of all, they have to have the ability to do you great physical injury or cause your death. Okay. Does this person have the ability to harm me or someone else in such a way that it could cause death or permanent physical injury? Okay. Now, usually that's going to mean, does the person have a weapon? Okay. Not always. Now, I know we got a couple of law enforcement officers in here today. So, how many of you guys have responded to a scene where there's been a gross physical injury and no weapon involved? It happens, doesn't it? Okay. Right here in Cresswell, here not very long ago, I think it's been about a month and a half ago, a woman forced entry into an elderly woman's home and assaulted her with her fists and put her in the hospital. Um, would she have been justified in using deadly physical force to defend herself when that person breached her house?
Yep.
How many, just show of hands, how many think she'd be justified in using deadly physical force to defend herself? Her attacker is unarmed. In fact, her attacker is buck naked and unarmed. So she wasn't even hiding a weapon. Okay. Justified or not?
Legal.
I think it would be justified.
Okay. If that same attack happened on the street, justified in using deadly physical force or not?
No.
Okay. Why? Why is there a difference?
They didn't intrude
Because
your
it's
home.
Ability
home.
to escape.
Yeah, right. It's in your home.
Okay.
She was naked. She's probably a tweaker, so you never know what you're gonna expect.
She was definitely a
Either
tweaker.
way, in your house.
So on the street, this person has ability because she's assaulting an elderly woman. So yeah, justification will probably be about the same. Okay. What are the other two things that the attacker has to have besides ability? Okay. How about opportunity? If she was unable to breach that door and get in the house, would the homeowner be justified in using deadly force to defend herself?
No,
No.
Okay. Why not?
they're not a threat.
Because not a threat as long as they're on the other side of the door, right?
Mm.
So until they actually breach and get inside, can't use force.
Does it matter if the door was locked or not? Like they had to actually physically. That's once they cross the threshold. That's game
Once
on.
if they, in my understanding of this, and things may have changed, I don't think they have. If somebody enters the home uninvited, trespass, for instance, uh, in the state of Oregon, we don't have castle doctrine as per se. There's no law that says, well, castle doctrine says this, but we pretty much follow castle doctrine. If somebody breaches your home and you're there, that's not really breaking and entering. It's not even trespassing. It's an assault. So if they're in the home, all three things are already assumed: ability, opportunity, and the third one is jeopardy. Is this person placing jeopardy? Is this person placing you or someone else in immediate jeopardy of death or serious bodily harm? They have to, all three of these things have to be in place if you're out on the street. Okay. Does this person have the ability to harm me or someone else? Does this person have the opportunity? Now, opportunity means they're at a distance or location that would permit them to use whatever ability they have. Okay. Opportunity can change very quickly. Uh, in the instance here in town, the lady was on the phone with 911 and the guy was beating on the door, which was locked. And she ended up putting her fist through the glass window of the door and reaching in to unlock the door. Okay. So the homeowner grabs her arm to try and keep her from locking the door, inadvertently cuts her up pretty good on the broken glass, but didn't even slow her down. So she's still on the phone with 911 trying to get help. Gal finally gets the door open, comes in and assaults her. Okay. She woke up to a room full of police officers, in EMT. In an instance like that, especially with the age disparity there was, I think the assailant was in her mid 20s. The elderly woman's in her late 60s, early 70s, maybe. Okay. With that much age disparity, use of force would have definitely been justified, even if it wasn't in the home.
So if it is a fair fight, like the same age, same everything, that's the factor that goes into using deadly force. Like if it's a guy my age, my size, everything, like that can
Okay.
be.
In use of force, the force that we use in self-defense must be equal to and not greater than the force being used against us. Okay. Now, does that mean if you're being attacked by somebody that's exactly the same size as you, that's about the same age as you, and about the same physical condition, that you got to stand there and duke it out with them?
I'm asking, yes.
Yeah, not necessarily. Okay. If you feel that your life is in immediate jeopardy by this assault, you can elevate your use of force to what you feel the force being used against you is. Now, you will have to prove it in a court of law that you were justified. Okay. Justification is tough, and it's going to be harder for a man-on-man confrontation than a man-on-woman or a woman-on-woman confrontation. because they look at it a little bit differently. Okay.
You're speaking about on the street, right?
Yeah. Right now, I'm talking about on the street.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, and the two will blend sometimes, and other times they're completely different. Okay. Jeopardy is automatically assumed if someone breaches your home. If they come in the home, jeopardy's already assumed. Okay. If jeopardy's there, I'm already assuming also that ability and opportunity are there. If they're in the house, opportunity exists. Okay. If they've come in uninvited, I'd say that they're there for reasons to put you in jeopardy. Okay. Now we can use force to defend ourselves. We can use force to defend other people. Okay. Technically, we cannot use force to defend property. Okay. So now they're not talking about somebody breaking into your home. They're talking about somebody breaking into your shed. Okay. You see somebody out there hauling off all your weed eaters and chainsaws, you can't go out and shoot them. Okay, that's not going to work. You can use a reasonable amount of force to protect your property, but you cannot use deadly force to protect property.
You just got to watch that happen then.
Huh?
You just got to watch that happen.
No, you can intervene to protect your property. You just can't go out and start shooting right away. You know.
Fair.
Now, let's say you go out and confront somebody, which I have done. You confront somebody and they drop their stuff and they run. What do you do?
Nothing.
Call cops. You went that way.
Yeah.
That's their job. Okay. Let them investigate. Let them try and catch the guy and do what they're going to do. Okay.
So I got a real quick scenario. Maybe revealing this wouldn't be so good, but there's been a couple times when I've gone out to confront people who seem to be tweakers, and they get out of their cars, they start advancing, and I say, "You need to stop right there."
Yeah.
And Jake's standing at the door with a weapon. So you need to stop right there. So that guy starts wailing on me, which some of the guys that have come out have been pretty big and pretty gnarly looking, because there's pot things on both sides of our house. So if he were to come and start pounding on me, can he defend his dad?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So let me back up a little bit, and we're just going to go over the Oregon's
Okay.
definition of justified use of force. Okay. Let me see if I can remember to get this right verbatim. Okay. Private person acting on the person's own defense, acting on their own account, is justified in using deadly physical force only when they reasonably believe it necessary for self-defense or to defend a third party from what they reasonably believe to be the use or imminent use of deadly physical force. So let's say you confront some guy on your property, he's not supposed to be there. He advances on you with a knife. Okay. Jake shoots him. Justified or not?
Yeah.
Justified.
I think justified.
Okay. Does he have ability?
Yes.
Does he have opportunity?
Yes.
Yeah. And is he placing you in jeopardy?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Therefore, he can assume that your life's in immediate jeopardy. He can use deadly force to defend you.
You're talking about somebody stealing something out of your shed. I've had power tools stolen out of my pickup in my driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Rock salt?
I'm trying to find the loophole.
No. And the reason for that is you're using deadly force.
Rock salt?
Yep.
Really?
If you point a firearm at somebody, you are using deadly force, even if you don't fire it.
So
You
you
don't
can't.
have to even draw on them.
If you can justify it, yes. Okay. Not saying it's not allowed, but it's definitely considered a use of force.
So if you catch someone in your truck stealing your tools, you can't go out and say I called the cops and hold them there
You can.
at gunpoint legally.
But if he beats feet,
There you go.
hey, as far as I'm concerned, that's a win. You didn't lose anything, and he
Right.
beat feet. Call the cops. He went that way. He was wearing a red Hawaiian shirt, green shorts, sneakers, had a Puccio haircut, big ears, glasses. That guy. Okay. Give him the best description you can give. Let them do their job. Okay. So, pursuit, I don't recommend it. Okay. There's no reason to place yourself in that kind of jeopardy. Question.
Is there a difference between holding someone at gunpoint and brandishing a weapon? So say like that sort of situation where I go out with my gun visible, but I'm not pointing at anything in particular.
Okay.
Is that a difference between gunpoint and just having it with me?
Okay. No, having it with you is different. Okay. But you've got somebody pulls into your driveway
Yeah.
and you walk out there with a rifle shouldered to find out what they're doing. Okay.
Yes.
Now we're crossing the line there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This could be somebody that just got lost. They're pulled in your driveway to
Yep.
check directions and figure out where they're going.
Yeah.
Okay. So your response needs to be equal to and not greater than the situation calls for.
Yep.
Okay. Our use of force has to be equal to not greater than the force being used against us. Okay. So you've got big guy threatening your dad. Okay. You're going, nah, my dad can take him. I'm not going to worry about this too much. Okay. And then he suddenly produces a weapon. He pulls a knife. Okay. Is your use of a firearm to defend your father going to be considered excessive? Is that greater than or equal to the force that's being used against him?
I'd say
It's equal. Can I kill you with a knife?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I'm curious along with like his rock salt question a little bit on I know a lot of my friends and stuff in Reno have switched over to like Berna arms and stuff. Is that how does that fall into that?
technically those aren't firearms.
Right.
Okay, they're maybe a pepper ball dispenser. Is that what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They load them like it'll be like pepper spray, tear gas, and then like the actual like salt ball behind it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife.
Yeah. Those actually aren't the same thing. It's considered force, and I don't know how Oregon views those yet because they weren't really a popular thing when I was teaching full time. So, they're not a firearm under ATF rules. Anybody can walk in and buy one. So, I think that's a whole different thing. Okay. Again, you're gonna have to justify your actions.
Right.
You light somebody up with pepper spray, you got to justify your actions.
Right.
So, I think a pepper ball is going to be the same thing, but that's not rock salt. That's a firearm and that's capable of killing. So
Can I change up the scenario and he doesn't have a weapon, but he's beaten on him?
as soon as he felt that his life's in jeopardy from the attack, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to take the beating.
It's Oregon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was a lady in Portland like 10 years ago who came home and caught a guy in her daughter's room and she shot and killed him. She went to prison over it.
Yeah. Well, this is Portland.
Yeah. That's, I mean, to his point, he said this is Oregon. That's why.
Don't go to Portland.
Yeah.
It hasn't all gotten that bad here yet.
So from from city to city, things vary, right?
County
Like
to county.
from
Sure.
county to county, right?
County to county, city to city. My home's in Douglas County. Rules are different down there.
Yeah.
I actually had the sheriff out at my property because we had some stuff go missing, and he goes, "Hey, if something happens out here, you shoot him and call us. We'll figure it out." This is coming from a sheriff.
Trying to move to Douglas County.
Yeah.
like
I'm
Park
not even.
City.
That's,
Well, he goes, "Well, if you've got a problem here, because we're on the north end of Douglas County," he says, "if you have a problem here, we're the closest we might be is 35, 40 minutes.
Right.
So solve the problem."
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm just going to shoot them because they're there and let the sheriff figure it out. No, I'm still going to only use the amount of force necessary to solve the problem. Okay. You were talking about stuff getting stolen out of your car. And when I lived in town, I used to live off Harlow Road in Eugene. Nice neighborhood. I'm a very light sleeper. Uh, Anything that's not a normal sound in the house is going to wake me up. Okay. The dog snoring, I'll sleep right through it. Okay. Kid get up and use the bathroom, no problem. Okay. But a noise that isn't supposed to be there, I'm awake. So I wake up 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and in my mind, I heard a wrench hitting concrete. So I'm laying there for a few minutes. Did I dream this or did it happen? And then the dog growled. I'm like, okay, something's going on. So I get up, got the dog, got my pistol, walk out to the house, look through the house, don't see anything, walk to the front door, peek out the window at the top of the front door. I don't see anything. And just as I'm about ready to say, okay, I'm going back to bed, I imagine this. I see feet sticking out from underneath my truck.
Automatic converter.
So I quietly unlock and open the door. I step out on the deck, and sure enough, there's a guy trying to steal a catalytic converter off my truck. So I go, all right, slide out from underneath there, feet first. If you've got anything in your hands, I'm going to shoot you. And so he sits real still for a minute. I repeat it. I go, come out with feet first. Anything in your hands, I'm going to shoot you. And about that time, the dog growled real loud. And I had a Rottweiler at the time that was just a monster.
He was hosed every
Now,
direction.
he might have licked him to death, but that would have been about it. This dog was worthless for self-defense. He was a good alarm, but that's about it. But in this case, he let out a suitable growl. So the guy slides out, and when he comes out, he's got a wrench in one hand and a screwdriver in the other. So I'm holding the dog like this, and I just point the gun at him. He sees the gun. He throws the stuff in the yard. I go, slide up against the back tire there. Put your hands on top of your head. So my wife at the time, I yell at her, hey, 911, we got somebody out here stealing stuff off the car. Okay. So we're sitting there, and so I've lowered my gun back down to low ready. The dog is acting aggressive. He's not. If I'd have turned him loose, like I said, he wouldn't have gone over and licked the guy's face. But the guy's sitting there, and I can see he's getting real antsy. He gets up, takes off. Okay. So I just put the dog back in the house, waited for the police to get there, gave him a report. Okay. Nothing else you can do. So there's a situation where actually held somebody at gunpoint. Outcome was favorable, in my opinion. Okay.
Let's go into the realm that there is a shooting and you believe you've done everything right. Report, you're found to be justified in a criminal investigation. Is there going to be a civil lawsuit against you? And should we, and I've thought about this, I haven't done it yet. There's a lot of companies that will insure.
I haven't got to the legal portion of that yet, but what I will say is if you have to use force, deadly force against somebody, police are going to arrive. If you want to give them a statement, make it as short and to the point of what happened as possible. If you don't feel that you're confident in giving that statement at that time because you're going to be rattled, okay, just tell them, I don't want to make a statement right now. I want to speak to my lawyer. Call your lawyer, get your lawyer out there as well. Okay. Civil action, probably going to happen. Okay. You kill a bad guy, bad guys have big families. Suddenly they all were the closest of family. Okay. I mean, the network of family members that come out of the woodworks is pretty incredible.
So you said you point the gun at somebody.
Yeah.
That's a problem if they're not.
If it's not justified.
You. So I get woke up in the middle of the night. Somebody say they're rummaging around in my shop. I see flashlight. So let's say I step out on the deck with a shotgun and boom into the sky. Is that a problem? Because I discharged it?
Not particularly.
Because I didn't point it at him. But tell me that wouldn't cause some fear in that guy's mind. He's going to go, maybe I should split.
Okay. That could be the scenario. That also could be the scenario that he starts shooting. So I'm not 100% against warning shots, but I personally would never use one.
Be cautious about being within the city limits and discharging a firearm.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you live in city limits, discharge a firearm, you just committed a crime.
I didn't hear.
If you live in the city limits and you discharge a firearm.
Oh, I'm out in the country.
Yeah, but that's important.
Yeah. Warning shots, not a great idea. Where's the shotgun to go? Now you're shooting a shotgun in the air is probably fairly safe. That's what they're designed to do. Shoot stuff out of the air. Okay.
Well, my first impulse was the sound of racking a shell in there would be bone chilling to somebody who wasn't prepared for it.
Correct.
Because that sound is unmistakable.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's nothing that mimics it.
But unfortunately, I bought that one that breaks open,
Uh-oh.
so no racking.
Well, maybe we need to upgrade you a little bit. Okay. So what you're asking is, can you use a warning shot? Well, yeah, you can. You may be breaking some laws depending on what city you live in, if you're in the city. In a rural area, you're probably not breaking any laws by firing a warning shot. My advice would be, if you're going to choose a warning shot, have some place to put it where you know that bullet, if you're not shooting a shotgun into the air. I do believe we had a president, or a puppet president, that said firing shotguns in the air was a good idea. We'll leave it at that. If you're using a handgun or a rifle, warning shot, better have some place to put it where you know it's not going anywhere else. Okay, bullets don't fall like rain. They go up, they arc over, they come back down, going just about as fast as they were going when they left the gun, and they will retain enough energy to wound or kill.
Yep.
So your warning shot may take out a neighbor that lives a mile and a half down the road.
100-acre field to the left of me, I could be clear as rain.
Well, like I said, with a shotgun, it's not as big of an issue. Rifle and pistol, it's a big issue. Self-defense in the home, you got more rights to defense in the home than anywhere else. Okay, ability, opportunity, jeopardy are all considered in place if somebody forces entry into your home. Doesn't matter if your door's locked or not. Whoever asked that over here. Okay, if they come in, they're not invited. They're not supposed to be there. Ability, opportunity, jeopardy is in place. You can use deadly force to defend yourself. Does that mean you should come out shooting?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Question?
So I caught two guys breaking in to my back gate, like attempting to break into my gate.
Mm.
And I didn't use deadly force. I beat
Yes,
them up
you
in my driveway. But
I was watching.
yeah, so and I got my kid works out in the garage in the morning, and my bedroom is right there. There's a door to it, right? So he's next to my trailer. He has to run through me to get away, and that's where I met him. And then his friend came up to save his buddy, or attempt it, and that whole thing transpired like that. And I mean, I didn't even think about a firearm at that point. I just run out there and met him. And but him attempting to get into my back gate, and I mean, essentially that's breaking in, right? Because that's access to my home.
That's on the property. That's not in the home.
That's not in the home.
Okay. So
You drag them inside.
did you use a reasonable amount of force to defend your property? You can defend property with a reasonable amount of force. You cannot use deadly force to defend property.
I didn't.
So, justification on beating the crap out of them, 2 against 1, I'd say it's pretty easy to justify.
Right. I called the police, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, sounds like you did good."
Sounds like you did good.
You did all right. All right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Brian.
Thank you,
So,
Brian.
Backing up just a little bit here, self-defense in the home, ability, opportunity, jeopardy, all three are considered in place. Does that mean you just start shooting? I would think shooting should always be a last resort. Use of force, or use of deadly force especially, should be an absolute last resort, because as soon as you pull that trigger, your life changes forever. Even in a situation where you're 100% justified, you still have to deal with the fact that you've taken a human life. Okay? That is not a small thing, and a lot of us get all caught up in bravado and stuff like that. And so, oh yeah, it would never bother me. Okay, it'll bother you. Okay? Trust me on that one. If somebody breaks into my home, now, when I was living with myself, by myself, it was pretty simple. Now I'm living with my life partner and 2 kids. It's a little bit different because I worry about the kids. Okay? I worry about her, but really, she can take care of herself. I wouldn't get in her way too much. But the kids, on the other hand, yeah, they've kind of grown up in a bubble. Mom takes care of them, makes sure that they're well cared for, and give them everything that they need. And they really don't understand how the real world works. So I'm working on that. But when I was living by myself, it was simple. If somebody breaks into my house, he's got a couple of chances to get out of there without a load of buckshot. Okay. First one is when I rack the slide on that shotgun and light him up with the tack light that's attached to it. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. If he runs, great. If he gives up, great. Okay. he takes one step towards me, that's somebody who I am definitely in fear of. And I don't fear a lot, but a guy that can hear me rack a shotgun shell and light him up with a light and still keeps coming, that's a guy to be feared. So he's getting lit up, not with the light. Okay. But it would be a last resort. If he runs, in my opinion, the problem solved. Called cops. He went that way. Okay. If he gives up, okay, problem's not completely solved. We got to get the cops there, okay, to take care of it. But hopefully you're not 45 minutes away, okay, from the police. Let them come and take him and do the job. Okay. But that should always be a last resort. It's not the first thing we want to do. Okay. It's the last thing we want to do. Defensive tools for in the home. Handguns are probably the most common home defense tool. Okay. If you're going to do a handgun for home defense, make it a caliber that you're proficient with, the biggest caliber that you're proficient with. Okay. More energy in a target's better chance of stopping a target. Add a light. And most of your modern handguns now have the ability to add a light to it simply. And a good tack light now, you can get something that's good for in the home for $100. Okay. 300 lumens, I think, is probably more than efficient for in the home. If you live on rural property and you're going to be using that firearm outside at night also, you can get 500, 800, 1,000 lumen lights. Okay. Anything over 3 inside the house, though, you get a lot of splashback. So the advantage of the light is 2 things. One is you can see what you're shooting at. 2 is it blinds the shooter or your attacker for a few seconds. Okay. If you human eyes in darkness for more than 3 minutes, your eyes become fully dilated, meaning your pupils have opened up the max amount to let as much light in as possible to help you see. Okay. If you hit that pupil with 300 lumens of bright white light, the pupil slams shut so quickly it is physically painful. Their head will turn and they will recoil from the light. Okay. You can't, even if you know it's coming, you can't not close your eyes when that hits. Okay.
Wow.
How many of you had your picture taken with a flash bulb?
Right.
What do you see for the next 20 seconds?
White.
You see that little floating flash bulb in your eyeball, right? Okay. Okay, that was probably taken in a similar light to what we're in now. Your eyes aren't dilated at all. Okay. So that light's a valuable tool to have to identify and buy you a couple seconds to see if force is necessary. Okay. You can put them on handguns, you can put them on shotguns, you can put them on rifles. Okay. A lot of people think rifles are not a good tool for self-defense in the home. Rifle's a great tool. Just make sure you pick a caliber that's suitable for it. Okay. Advantages of a rifle for home defense. You can get a pistol caliber rifle, and you're thinking, wow, well, why don't I just do a pistol? Because rifles are easier to shoot than pistols. Okay. And it's not just you that might be using that home defense tool. It might be your wife or it might be one of your kids. Okay. A pistol caliber carbine in 9mm is way more effective than a 9mm handgun. We're talking 10, 12, or 16-inch barrel on it. Increases the velocity of that bullet considerably and makes it more effective. Makes it easier to fire accurately. Okay. And in many cases will hold more ammunition on the firearm than a handgun will.
Yeah.
Any cowboy shooters in here? Anybody a fan of the lever action? Okay. Lever action gun in 357 Magnum, in 45 Long Colt, which is my favorite, 44 Magnum, great home defense tool. Okay. The 44 Magnum, I'd probably load it with 44 specials, just to cut down on penetration. Bad guy's not gonna know the difference. He's not gonna go, ooh, well, that was a special.
Is that so it's not continuing to travel?
What's that?
Is that so it's not continuing to travel? Is that why you would use that?
Yes.
Penetration?
Less chance of punching through the bad guy, the wall, and your kid.
Yeah.
Okay, or the bad guy in the wall and the neighbor.
What about a Henry 22?
What's that?
What about a 22 Henry? I mean,
Um,
got 14 shots.
22 is not the best tool for self-defense, but if you're good with it, okay, I would probably strive for something a little bit bigger than a 22. Okay. Questions over tools for home defense as far as setting up a firearm?
From Ohio, so it's different a little bit, but just a lot of people like say with the ego and bravado that like I'm just gonna dump the clip.
Okay.
You know, and I think that's also taken into consideration too as well.
Okay.
The number of
what I've always taught my students: shoot until the threat ceases. Okay. If I shoot 2-3 shots, and the bad guy's down, I'm not going to empty the mag.
Sure.
Okay. If I shoot 2 or 3 shots, the bad guy's still on his feet, I'm going to keep shooting until the bad guy is no longer on his feet.
And that would be, in that case, that would be your word only on why you shot as many times as you did.
Yeah.
Understand.
But the nice thing about a criminal case, if they want to bring charges against you, proof beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to prove that you acted with malice. If it's in your home, it's going to be pretty hard for them to prove that you acted with malice.
Yes.
On the shotgun, you said you have a 14-inch barrel. Is that a legal length for it? Is that something?
It is a short barrel shotgun, federally registered. Okay. Requires tax stamp, which are free now. You don't have to pay the tax stamp anymore. You just apply for it and they give it to you. So, used to be $200 to have a short barrel shotgun, short barrel rifle, or suppressor. It was a $200 tax per item. First of the year, that tax went away.
Is that what
Yep.
So going back to the kind of setting up of your weapon, you said light, and obviously there's a whole range of optics you want to put on your weapon, whether a shotgun or pistol or whatever. I can't remember, someone was telling me that the legal system can take into account what you're doing to your weapon, whether it's necessary or not, whether it's like extended mags or optics or lights or whatever, and they can be like, well, he was, trying to go out and shoot somebody. Is that true?
Oh, it's premeditated because he did a trigger job on his 1911.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awfully hard to prove.
Okay.
And you will rarely see stuff like that come into a criminal case unless they're adding it on to make a stronger case for something else that you did wrong.
Gotcha. Okay.
Where you're going to see stuff like that pop up in the civil case.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So civilly, they're going to try and show that you acted with malice.
Okay. Because
criminally, it's cut and dry. It's either a justified shooting or it's not, and they're going to look at several factors to make it whether it was justified or not.
Yeah.
Okay. But I would much rather take a shooting case to a criminal court than I would to a civil court.
Yeah.
Okay. Criminal case is proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Civil court is preponderance of the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You're guilty by degrees.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, would I tell you not to modify your gun to make it more usable for you? No, I'm not going to tell you that. Anything that you can do to make that a more usable tool for your defense of yourself or your family, I'm all for it.
Sweet.
Okay, as long as it's reasonable.
Yeah.
Question.
Concerning like laws, kind of a twofold question. One is, do you see any laws changing that we should be concerned about? And
Gonna have to speak up. I'm deaf as a post.
Sorry. Do you see any laws in Oregon changing that we should be concerned about? That's one. And two is, when the laws change, because I don't follow the firearm law changes much, like say with clip capacity, that seems to kind of ebb and flow depending on politicians.
Okay.
If I have 25 round clips, are they now illegal or do they get grandfathered? That kind of thing.
Okay. Currently, there is no restriction on magazine capacity in Oregon. Okay. 114 supposedly passed. Was that 2020, 2021?
Several years.
A couple of years ago, by a very narrow margin, like a 0.54 margin. It's been tied up in court since then. It's never actually taken effect. The Supreme Court of Oregon heard it last year. The hearings, in my opinion, were favorable. They haven't made a decision on it yet. They can take as long as they want. It's the Supreme Court. But I watched all of the hearings on 114, and the questions the justices were asking the state attorney general lead me to believe they're going to deal it unconstitutional under both the state and federal constitution, which it is. Okay. And that was magazine capacity limits, and the big one would be purchases permits. You would have to take a class given by a law enforcement agency and apply for a permit to purchase. That whole process could take 3 to 6 months and cost hundreds of dollars. Okay.
So that's held up then too.
Yeah, so that's still out there. I think it's going to die. I think the Supreme Court's going to kill it, but it could happen. This is Oregon, so
If it were to pass, are you grandfathered into what you already have?
you could still own the magazines. You can't take them off your property. So you can still own them. You can still use them on your own property, and you could use them as a shooting range, but you can't transport them. So how do you get them from your house to the shooting range?
You mail them.
Beep, beep, Scotty, can you beam me over to the shooting range?
Take the spring out, and no longer an active magazine until you get to the place.
I suppose you could do that, or you could just not comply.
Yeah.
So
That's a route I take.
you didn't hear me say that.
Access, I think, is the only other thing. I don't know if you're going to talk about that. Locking and different things and being able to have access to the weapon versus your kid.
Oh yeah, I have a question on that. I bought a little safe that I put inside my truck and bolted it down. Am I legal I don't have a conceal? Am I legal to keep my pistol in that, being that it's in a safe?
Okay. Can you access the safe while you're driving?
Yes.
Then they could argue that that's accessible and concealed weapon. Okay. If you can't access it while you're driving, then I think that there's a strong argument for you're just transporting it safely. And under Oregon law, when we transport firearms, they're supposed to be unloaded and locked, okay, unless it is actively being used for self-defense. So concealed carry, we're an open carry state. You can carry openly legally anywhere it's legal to carry a firearm. You do have to watch city and county ordinances may prohibit carrying openly in certain places.
So hypothetically, I could keep it in there overnight, get in my truck in the morning, put it on the seat next to me.
Absolutely.
And then I'm in compliance.
Then you're in compliance, yeah.
Okay.
But it has to be locked.
You need to be locked up, yeah. Keeping a firearm in your car when you're not in it is risky.
It's like to have one everywhere.
Well, I have one with me right now, so I'm pretty much with you on that. I have one everywhere. But current laws on transporting firearms should be unloaded, should be in a lock, have a trigger lock installed or be in a locked case, some type. Okay.
Is that the same for concealed carry
No.
handlers?
The guns that you're actively using for defensive purpose or carry are not, or they're exempt for that. So if you've got a concealed carry permit, or if you're open carrying without a permit, you're still legal.
Sweet.
Okay.
Love it.
So if I'm going bird hunting, I've gotta have my shotguns in a locked case traveling.
Or trigger lock installed on it.
I've been breaking the law all this time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, most everybody has.
Oh my goodness, you're so.
I didn't know.
If it's open, if you can have it open carry,
yeah,
then how does that work?
As
long as your rifle's out on the back seat, then you're okay to have it chambered or not chambered, but.
Well, my argument would be that's what I'm actively using for self-defense. That's my carry weapon today.
So open carry applies to self-defense only.
I'm using my whole arsenal right
You could
here.
argue it. Something like that is going to be depending on what you got pulled over for in the first place.
I'm sorry?
How the officer would react to that is going to depend on what you got pulled over for in the first place.
Yeah.
So, can they push it? Yeah. Can they confiscate your weapon? Yeah. Even if you're 100% right, you still got to go back and get it. So you got to go through all the trouble and jump through the legal hoops to get that firearm back. Any other questions?
So I'm going back to the insurance one. Do you recommend? Because there's several companies out there that are selling insurance. They tell you we'll have lawyers there for you. And it's got to cover them. A lot of that is.
There's a lot of that going around now and I get calls all the time for me to sell it at my shop.
Right.
Okay. I don't think so.
Okay.
You should have an attorney that you work with on a regular basis. Have a chat with them. I mean, maybe it costs you a couple $100 to have a chat with your attorney about it. But have a chat with them about what would happen if you're in legal self-defense, okay, or if you were involved in a self-defense issue. Okay, would he be available, or is that something that a lawyer even deals with? You may have a business lawyer that's not what he deals with, and he can recommend somebody. Get in contact with them. Okay, set it up where you've got somebody you can contact. But paying somebody insurance every month and using their lawyers that you're not familiar with, not my thing.
Good,
It might
thank
be
you.
your thing. It's not my thing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So if I've got somebody that's going to stand in my corner and defend me in court, I want to know who that person is.
Yep.
I don't want somebody that they just sent. So
Sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I looked into those. They're so expensive, and it's
Mhm.
like, man, what am I getting for my money? And again, I was really like, you're gonna get some Joe Blow guy that, just he was the last one in the pot, and you get him. No,
And do they know the local stuff?
yeah.
okay, we're gonna finish up here real quick, so maybe one or two more questions.
Any other questions
Yeah.
over anything we've talked about today?
Yeah.
I know we kind of jumped back and forth on stuff a little bit. Like I said, I'm a little out of practice.
Did you say that you're no longer doing the concealed?
I stopped doing
classes?
concealed carry
You
classes.
stopped
Yeah.
doing it.
I would still do them if somebody came to me with a group. Like, let's say Bill gets a group from the church and says, "Hey, we got 12 people that we need a class." Yeah, I'll do it.
How many like to take the class with me? Raise your hand.
We did that.
Yeah. We did. But how many would like to do that now again?
I want to do it.
How
Okay.
long after you concealed
carry?
do you
One,
get all
two.
your
We got to get more than that. So I'll send.
My wife for sure.
Yeah, I'll send something around. We'll get something going.
Okay.
Something good.
after you take the concealed test, how long does it take to like have your license to carry?
Lake County's processing pretty quickly now.
Yeah.
So it's a matter of weeks.
Okay.
Okay, last question, Greg.
I took your class with McDonald Wholesale in Berenstain. Rod Huey set it up. Rod Huey set up a class at Berenstain where we took with McDonald Wholesale and did your class. If you did a class with, it was a 2-day class. Do you do the shooting also?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't do classes where I don't see you shoot.
I'd say
A lot of you can get a concealed carry permit in 30 minutes now online. You can take an online course and get that permit. What have you actually learned?
Nothing.
Well, I'll say when I had mine for years, took your class, I learned a lot during the shooting part. One thing you just told me to pull my finger out a little bit on the trigger, and my accuracy got much better with the education that we got from the class. So, Bill, I'm in.
Okay, good. Would you mind if I ask Brian? Is there anything that you can add? Because
Camera. I was gonna say I'm gonna add some stuff, but not when that thing's rolling.
I'm sorry. Say that again, and this is important. Please listen.
I'll share some stuff, but not when that camera's rolling.
Okay, turn the camera off.